So sometimes the problem with our children are adults. It's not always the children. Sometimes we have to stop and process what's going on to understand where that child is at mentally, emotionally, and socially. So we need to spend more time understanding youth and not criticizing them. You never know what that child has been through. You never know what has led up to that child lashing out at an adult. Am I saying let's use a crutch for their behaviors? No, I'm not. But at the same time, you have to dissect that child's behavior. Let me say it again. You have to dissect that child's behavior to understand. Children didn't just come out the mother's womb disrespecting adults. Children didn't just come out the mother's womb committing offenses like carjacking, home invasion, assault. It's not what happened. It was something, a set of experiences that made that child that way. And it's going to take a set of experiences and an understanding adult to redirect that type of behavior. I know we always say, you know what? That's a bad kid. I would never want that kid to be my son. I would never want that kid to be my daughter. It's by the grace of God that your children do not exhibit that type of behavior that you detest in that child. Let me tell you about something that happened last week. I was at a football game, Cass Tech versus Southfield High. As I was in the stands, I saw something and it hit me. Bingo, it hit me. It said, you know what? That's the perfect example of what you've been talking about, Otis Bellinger. That people don't understand what's going on with our youth of today. Very good game. And Cass Tech, blessings to all the technicians. I wasn't smart enough to go, but I did go to Benedictine. So that's cool. Getting back to the game. I was sitting in the stands. And I was looking, and it was a young man. He was, you could tell, was very disturbed and upset. In the middle of the game, 7,000 people there. He comes off, takes off his pads, throws it on the track, which surrounds the football field, in the middle of the game. Walks off, throws off his shin guards in the end zone, and walks toward the area outside of the stadium at Wayne State where the Cass Tech players must have been changing at. Everybody was looking at this, man. They was like, whoa, what is wrong with this kid? I heard folks saying things like, he had never played for me. Again, doing something like that. I heard other folks saying things like, man, listen, that's what we talking about. Coach Wilcher and Cass bet not let him back on the team. That'll be sending a wrong message. Well, you know what? It's sending a wrong message to the wrong people that don't understand the right things. It's sending a wrong message to the wrong people who does not understand the right things. And let me tell you what happened. I knew from my experience in working with young men what was going to happen. He came back into the stadium either for one or two reasons. One, he was getting ready to go attack the person who made him upset. Or two, he felt some remorse and felt he let his team down. Felt he let the whole Cass Tech community down. I say it was the second one. Because the young man didn't seem like he was going after nobody. So he comes back in the stadium. When I looked at the folks who were sitting down, they were like, whoa, why is he coming back in here? He quit. Cass Tech coaches, Coach Wilcher and Cass Tech shouldn't allow him to come back in. But the right people at the right time was in that situation. And people know. Some folks were looking going, you know what? That football team may be the only thing that kid has. That's his family. That's his soul. That's something that's going to help him for the rest of his life. Because anytime you quit, you remember that. Most folks who quit at something, as they get older into their adult years, they remember why they quit. And they say, you know what? What if I'd have stayed in there? So I know a process was going through that young man's head. So he came back in the stadium. And I'm looking at people saying, there's no way I would let him play. And my heart is saying yes, because he is learning a process of life that will last him forever. So he comes back in. One of the opposing coaches from Oak Park that wasn't even playing that game came up and talked to that young man. That's mentorship. That's the real village. He didn't come up to him hollering him, why you leave? So then he comes back and two Cass Tech assistant coaches comes up and they talks to him. One of them puts his arm around him. You can tell that young man needed that love. Folks still in the stands going, y'all should kick him out. Y'all should kick him out. No, that's the time you embrace him. That's what that young man need, and that's what young men of America need. When they make a mistake, you got to dissect it. You can't just kick him out. So then he goes to the bench. The players are looking at him. They didn't say, man, why you quit on us? They said, thank you for coming back. Like the prodigal son, thank you for being back. So he comes back. Players begin to embrace him, hug him. People in the stands are wondering what is wrong. He's an outsider. Kick him out. No, that's when you kick him in. That's when it kick in to him that you know what, I got family, I got people that love me because I made a mistake. They not kicking me out. And then the kicker, Cass Tech alumnus and people, because Cass Tech football coaches got it right. The kicker is they had a huddle, and Cass Tech was losing by then, a close game. It was an 18-14. Shout out to Southfield. Coach Wilcher left his troops, his team, and he went and he hugged the young man. And I know he was letting them know that's all right. And folks in the stands were still saying, kick him out, kick him out. But Cass Tech football program got it right. They knew that football team may be the lifeline of that young man. At that time, well, it was a life-saving situation. He may end up being a pro football player, he may end up being a teacher, anything in this field, but he's going to remember that some adults dissected and they got it right. And that's what we got to do to our young people. Don't just throw them away. Don't just throw them away. Cass Tech football program got it right. And if any Cass Tech alumnus, teachers, anybody, football players is watching this, contact me, inbox me, because I need to come get that young man a hug, and I need to come give the whole football program something, because they got it right. Cass Tech football is not just winners on the football field. They're winners off the football field. Remember, no reason why you can't win. This is Otis Bellinger. Continue to follow me on Twitter. Continue to follow me on Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn. And also, I have a YouTube channel, Otis Bellinger.